SIUE head coach Cale Wasserman, coach. Your team predicted the preseason favorite coming off a regular season and tournament championship last year. Just give us some general thoughts on this upcoming year.
Yeah, I'm excited about a new year. Obviously had a really good experience in the conference last year, very competitive conference. Obviously we won the conference, but every single game was a battle and a lot of close ones. I anticipate the same this year where everyone's now figured each other out. So we're excited about it. We have a lot of new players. About half our team is new, so certainly we're in a little bit of a rebuilding phase. So we're almost through preseason, but it's been enjoyable getting to know my group and try to get everyone implemented fairly quickly because the season's here before you know it.
I'm going to ask you some more specifics on your team in just a sec, but since we mentioned, last year was the first year of OVC soccer, what did your team learn about being in the OVC with different mix of teams and going some new places that maybe you hadn't been before?
Obviously, every new place brings a different challenge, different facilities, different surfaces. You have some night games, you have some day games. The Thursday Sunday turnaround is a challenge. So, there's a lot that we learned along the way. But again, like I mentioned, I think the one thing that was very clear is there was no easy games. Most games came down to the last 10 minutes in some way, shape, or form, where you're either holding on to a lead or trying to equalize, or trying to gain the lead because a lot of one goal differentials across the board. So we learned a lot, and we're gonna have to learn on the fly a little bit this year with different leaders in the team, different players playing in certain positions. Obviously, Western Illinois has joined the conference, a little bit of a different landscape, having a new team, but we're fairly familiar with them because they were a normal non-conference opponent anyway. But certainly now to edge that into a conference matchup adds a little bit of an element that wasn't there before.
You mentioned you got a lot of new players in your team. When you're going about to building your roster, you have people graduate, people leave. What are you looking for when you're trying to fill out the roster in this era, the transfer portal era, and to mix them with the people you do have returning?
Yeah, I would say almost in the same way when we're talking to recruits about their search process, it's the same for us. We are trying to find the right fit, and there's no cookie cutter example of what that is because from year to year you graduate different players. Certainly, you want to evaluate certain criteria, technical ability, athleticism. But for me, one of the big things is personality and character, and who that person is. And so in some situations hey, I need leadership. I need an experienced third year guy that's vocal and athletic and has a presence. Other times, if you have a lot of leadership, you might need to fill a spot that is maybe a lead by example guy or someone that just brings quality in certain areas. So, I think our recruiting class, which I'm really happy and really excited about, has a good balance of all of that. We have some upperclassmen transfers that have come in right away and showed their experience, but we also have some really young, true freshmen, St. Louis area kids, Metro East kids from our side of the river that were produced within a 30-minute radius within the soccer clubs in our community. So, we've got a great balance of that within our recruiting class. So, we're always just trying to find the balance of it all and find the right fit for the individual in each different role.
Not specific players, but if somebody comes and watches an SIUE game this year, how will they see something what will they see that's different from last year's team?
Definitely some personnel changes. We'll have a new starting goalkeeper. We graduated Sam Gomez, who's gone on to start his professional career at St. Louis City too. So that's a guarantee. We'll have a new starting goalkeeper. Rob Jalai has come in from a D2 school in Michigan and has implemented himself well, coming here in January and given him all of last semester to get ingrained with the team. And we'll have some new guys across the midfield and back line. We do return most of our attack, which was a pretty potent attack last year. So I'm excited to see guys like Steph Marrera, Nacho Abial, Pavel Dashin, and some of those guys who had some really big moments for us last year back out on the field competing for us. But yeah, we'll have some different personnel. There will be some adjustments tactically, but I think our identity will remain the same. We'll be a team that likes to be on the ball. We try to be fairly organized defensively and have some grit to us, but certainly some exciting attacking actions and quality in the front half of the field.
I'm going to take you back to last year. Then, when last year started, did you think that that was a team that was going to have an undefeated regular season? I mean, it was quite the year that you had getting ranked in the top 25 polls. And how does that lead to those experiences and that what you did help the program going forward?
Yeah. Well, first, I think a lot of what happened last year was the byproduct of what had happened the previous couple years, where we went through a transition, brought in new guys. They had to battle. They had some losing seasons. They had some adversity they had to get through, and they were battle tested. By the time we got our culture and talent where we wanted it to be, they were also very battle tested. I think, I did another interview recently and I talked about the legacy that those guys left behind. And the biggest thing is the culture and the expectations that they raised. And I think that will help us carry our current group forward. But it is a new group. And so, you know, I think last year was a special year. And if you play that season over 10 times in a row, I don't know if we're undefeated again. I certainly think we're a championship caliber team if you play that season 10 times in a row. But even with the same players and the same opposition to go through 19 games unbeaten, took some favorable moments, some good bounces, some luck, a late goal here or there. In college soccer, anything can happen, a red card, a penalty, a set piece. So to get through 19 games unbeaten is borderline unheard of at our level because the competition is so tight. But I do look at it every game, one game at a time, and feel, if we look at it one game at a time, certainly we feel that we're going to be in a position to compete for wins in every game. Now, the question is how consistently can you get those results? But yeah, last year was special, but we're all very, very clear that we'll have a little bit of a target on our back because of that. And this year will be a whole new challenge where we're going to have to try to find the right formula to try to win one game at a time and prepare week by week for a lot of tough games.
Playing off that, and maybe the same answer. What if there was one thing? What's it going to take for your team to win a conference championship again?
I think it'll come down to the culture. I don't think talent is going to be a question with our group. We have an extremely talented team, but the culture, the experience, the intangibles, the mental side. College soccer is a grind. You're dealing with travel, you're dealing with classes. We have a lot of guys in tough academic loads as well, and so they're balancing a lot of stressors. And there's going to be adversity with, losing a game, giving up a bad goal, an injury here or there. So we're going to have a lot of adversity, and I think the championship level teams are the ones that can mentally deal with that side of it and come together as a group. And I think our culture is very strong, but throughout the ups and downs of a season, can we use that in our favor and not let it waver in certain moments for too long? Because you're going to have some bumps in the road, and if you can get through it, whether it's a big bump over the course of a couple weeks, or if it's going down a goal in the first 15 minutes of a conference game, and how you react to that. So culture and mental toughness, I think, is going to be the difference for whoever the conference champion is. But that's certainly something that we will put a focus on to try to put ourselves in that position.
I want to end with this and just talk about your non-conference schedule and how that's going to prepare you, especially the Bronze Boot game, which was obviously an awesome atmosphere last year, and just those games that you're going to play over the next 6 or 7 weeks before conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we really tried to test ourselves this year. We've got a really, really tough, exciting schedule, some good home games, some tough away games. We've got the neutral site at the MLS Stadium City Park against SIUE. But, right now we're prepping for Marquette, which is a Big East opponent, our final preseason game. So they'll bring us a lot of challenges. But our first two games are Big Ten opponents, perennial kind of top 25 caliber programs in Michigan State at home and then Ohio State away. So those first two certainly are marquee matchups, but we've got, some tough games like Nebraska, Omaha, Bradley. We'll have a rematch against our NCAA opponent from last year, going back to Memphis where we lost and were eliminated in the NCAA tournament. So certainly we've got a really tough non-conference slate that's going to test us in a variety of ways and hopefully prepare us to be ready for our conference opener.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time today and just best of luck to your team all season long.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kyle. Have a good one.